You're listening to the Devil Dog Talk Show.
This show contains explicit material and is recommended for ages 18 and older for mature audiences only. But hey, it's the internet.
All right, we're recording.
Nice.
It's the beginning. It's the beginning of the end.
Do you do an intro for your podcast?
I usually do, but I had to take a breath after where you just fucking made me laugh through. I was like, how am I supposed to start this? Because
you just be a professional.
We didn't record that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Devil Doc Podcast.
Devil Doc Talk Show.
Devil Doc Talk Show.
It's okay. I couldn't get the Comedy Store right yesterday or the other day we were talking.
Yeah. That comedy club place thing.
The comedy shop,
you know, the one that's been around for like 50 years.
It's like the oldest comedy place in San Diego, right?
It is. It's one of the oldest ones in the world.
See? That's what you get for hanging out with idiots like me.
It started in 1976.
Holy shit. All right, so everybody, welcome to the Devil Doc Talk Show. If you can't tell, you're listening to the Devil Doc Talk Joey. And today we have Mike Vinn from the Comedy Store La Jolla.
I'm
yeah,
here,
that's
guys.
right. Hey, go ahead and say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Can I say hi to your mom? We were talking about his mom earlier.
Say hi to my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Her name's Katya. She'll love this.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an erotic name.
It is. It is. Go ahead, expand on that.
I don't want
We
to
have time.
expand on it.
Again with the jokes.
You're gonna show your mom this track, and she's gonna be like, "Wait, who's this guy?"
Yeah.
Don't ever have him on your podcast again.
No, she'll love it. She loves it. She has such a great sense of humor. You'd be flabbergasted.
Really?
And that, I think, is a German word. At least it sounds German.
It's another. Yeah, we should play Germany or Florida after the show.
Okay.
For those who don't know what Germany or Florida is you take a sexual story and you have to guess if it happened in Germany or Florida.
Wow.
You know what the trick is?
What?
It's always Florida. It's always Florida.
Okay, so honestly, how did this come about? This seems like something that happened during a road trip or like one of your adventures doing your comedy stuff. And
I heard about it from Sam Tripoli, so I don't know if you know who he is.
the name sounds familiar.
Okay, so he's a comedian.
Gotcha.
And he's been all over TV and stuff like that. But he started doing I forgot the name of it, but it had like comedians and porn stars and stuff like that on it. And that's when he was like doing a lot of drugs. And now that he's quit drugs, he's like way into conspiracies now.
Oh, wow.
So like, especially like during the pandemic, like all the things he was talking about started coming true. And so I was like texting him. I was like, it's a fucked up world when Sam Tripoli is your only credible news source.
Oh, my God, dude.
And like tinfoil hat, like all that stuff. I think he has a tinfoil hat podcast.
No way.
Yeah.
So he like goes in on that.
He goes in on that. Like he really goes in on that. Him and Brian Callen have a podcast together.
Brian Callen.
Fighter and the Kid.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the original Mad TV.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was the gym teacher on the Goldbergs, right?
Yes.
Got you.
Yeah.
My kids love that show.
Yeah.
I love that show. What am I saying? It's a trippy ass part is the grandfather before he passed away. The actor. I don't remember his name, but the old grandfather. I found out he owned property right off of Colgrade up here.
Really?
Yeah, the orange field.
Wow.
The one they cleared out. And then it was like a big old fire hazard. So before he passed, I found out that he owned that property out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a trip out. So like the Valley Center has such a great history in Hollywood. So it's like it's Sandra Bullock owned a house out here. She just sold that shit. I don't know what that says about this place, but
well, I mean, it says more about California. A lot of people are max exiting California because it's getting too expensive.
Do you think so? What would? I'm sorry, but Tripoli was his name?
Sam Tripoli.
Sam Tripoli. What would he say about that?
About the mass exodus?
Yeah, because
he'd probably talk about lizard people and stuff like that.
So you take it to just a completely.
He would just take it to a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
About like how New World Order and lizard people and the trans community are all like probably something like that. Like
it's all
yeah,
community
that they run the world.
That's crazy. I gotta check that shit out.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. If you want to really go down a wormhole, that's a good one. I mean, I would lube up by watching some Jamie Kennedy stuff because he kind of touches on it a little bit, but Sam Tripoli definitely goes down the rabbit hole.
Jamie Kennedy has been doing a lot of interesting stuff like that. Yeah, I was watching one of his shows about vaccinations, I think it was, and I was like, that's interesting. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to be edited.
Well, yeah. Also, I don't know that much about
Yeah.
any of that stuff to really weigh in on it.
It's difficult for me.
Yeah.
I got to keep my mouth shut because being with the medical background.
You're a medic.
Yeah. And then on top of it, so after just doing the corpsman thing, I actually became an advanced lab technician. So I created an entire laboratory out in El Centro. Said it probably a billion times on the show, right? Everybody's hating. But I go, the truth of the matter is, when the swine flu came out, that H1N1 in 2009, I think it was.
I remember that.
Everybody was doing exactly what they were doing at the beginning of this COVID thing. They were pushing for vaccinations and Tamiflu at the time, right? So I'm sitting there in my lab. Me and my senior leadership are like, hey, dude, like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Not a night goes by after all those reports of all these deaths and all this crazy bullshit, right? We're starting to get truckloads of Tamiflu just into the base. Under garden security, dude.
Really?
So, yeah, escort and everything. So we're sitting there like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not saying that's when we do the most work, right? But 3 o'clock in the morning, we're moving boxes of Tamiflu into storage and shit. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is serious. Or I don't know. Maybe we're running up a stock. Like,
I mean, or there's like a hidden agenda going on.
Yeah. I mean, after this shit, I wouldn't be surprised. And it's coming back.
Yeah.
They just started mandating some college or some shit. The mask stuff.
Yeah, and in Atlanta, right? In
think
Georgia,
so.
something like
Yeah.
that.
I'm just flabbergasted.
There's that word again.
Yeah, it's German. I'm gonna just call it German because it has the word gas in it, and I feel that's what we're. Pushing
That's kind
towards.
of World War II racist.
Yeah,
I'm sure that the German people will not like being associated with gas anymore.
but do I have to care? Or is it like, is that a new regulation that?
I mean, maybe.
So is it like you must mask, you must care about Germans and
You
gases
maybe
and their emotions?
put on German masks.
You just say Wiener Schnitzel.
Get that German sausage at your mouth.
And then top it with a little bit of chili and make it look like a mustache. And then just mustard for a smile.
See, my mind went dirty right away when you're talking about the chili on.
No.
Well, it's Germans.
They are into.
They're weird.
They're into. We were talking about that. What is it? Germany or Florida, right?
Yeah. It's always Florida.
It's always Florida.
It's always Florida.
What if it's a German in Florida? Florida.
Oh
Florida.
man, I think that'd be probably the most normalist person out there because, two negatives make a positive type of thing.
Yeah. That's math, right?
I think so.
Okay. Does math still count?
Only when it's not racist.
Okay. Because I found out.
That's the other thing that I saw on the internet. Somebody said that math was racist, and I was like, where's the logic behind anything anymore?
I don't think there is any.
I think that some kid did not want to do their math homework, so they said it was racist, and then now we don't have to do math.
It just caught on, I guess.
It just caught on. Math is racist. No, somebody had like a whole spiel about it, how math is racist.
How does one come to the concept of racism within numbers, though?
Look, if you're looking for something, you'll find it.
That is so true.
I mean, that's just how it works. If you're looking for something, you're gonna find it.
That is so true. So what if you go looking for some like weird niche? My friend emailed me or texted me. This is how old I am. I still email. And it was a message on TikTok. And it's like not even.
He emailed me on TikTok.
We were talking about our dogs. And it wasn't TikTok. It was Instagram. We were talking about our dogs. And he fucked up and said Dr. So Little because I have 4 dogs and 4 cats. And I said, dude, that sounds like some niche porn parody right there.
See?
Dr. So
Boom.
Little.
Now you found it. You were looking for something dirty to associate with it.
Yeah.
And you found it.
I did. And it clicked. And it sounds German or Floridian. And that Dr. So Little, that can fit everything. I can see it happening in the Alps, like the German Alps. Right?
I mean, you're the director. Let's make this
the backdrop.
Let's
It's the
make
backdrop.
this happen.
Or it could be on some kind of rough swamp area in the is it Floridian? What do they call themselves out there?
Floridians?
Fuck, I nailed it.
Yeah. It sounds right. I mean, it sounds good to me. I've been there once. It was fun.
It's Floridians, huh? Yeah. I knew it. See, that's why I need my confidence boost.
I feel like this whole podcast started off on a tangent.
And it's going to go that way. So let's get back to it. Mike, you were on a trip to Las Vegas, and that was the goal today. I have notes, and I just, after setting up, I just fucking fall into it. It's like a rabbit hole sometimes.
It's like that. Now we're back to the beginning. Jamie Kennedy and Sam Tripoli are conspiracy theorists. All right, back to Vegas. No, yeah, I was just I just got done featuring at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club.
Solid.
Which is really cool spot.
And where's that at?
To do?
Vegas, you said it.
So that's in the Promenade.
Promenade. Okay.
So, by the High Roller, the Link and the Flamingo. You know, they put me up at the Flamingo because Caesars Entertainment, has all that kind of money.
That's solid,
to put you up at a high class.
That's like high class, right?
No, it's like one of the oldest ones there. It's
they couldn't get you in a circus.
They couldn't do circus or New York. So I got the Flamingo at the edge of the strip.
Oh my God. Oh shit!
Like where the strip starts?
Yeah.
Cross the street, going the opposite way, and then there's the Flamingo.
So it's like on the old strip. Would you even consider it Vegas anymore? Nah.
No. I like the Flamingo. It was nice. It's solid. You exit right into the Promenade, turn right, and you walk like half a block, and you're at the clubs, which is perfect.
How was the club set up? Let's paint that background.
The club is really, really cool. So like when you walk in the theater where the comedy club, or it's upstairs.
Got you.
So you walk into this lobby bar that's got a bunch of memorabilia from the different things Kimmel's been in. So there's like some Crank Yankers stuff, Man Show stuff. Like all the different things throughout his era, and then you go upstairs to the theater, and that's actually the same place where they record all the comedians for his show.
Oh, wow.
So they don't record the comics in Los Angeles. They record them at his comedy club in Vegas.
So when they do that like segment, that's where it's
cut to his club in Vegas.
It's Hollywood magic.
Which is
so
Hollywood magic, which I think is better for the comedians because after they get done filming for the show, they can go out and party and all that other stuff. And
I bet that's a load off too.
Yeah.
It's probably cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's industrial out there. They're really doing a lot in Vegas.
Oh yeah, Vegas is easily like skyrocketing and taking over all the entertainment industry because everybody's going out there.
I hope so. I hope we get it all out there before the next lockdown.
before California falls off the face of the earth, the big earthquake.
No, I would. Okay. So
I can't do another lockdown. Like I'm just now 3 years later starting to lose the weight that I put on during the first one.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like how am I? If they lock us down again, I'm just gonna be fat.
Just obese for the rest of the life.
I'm just gonna quit. My wife's still trying. I'm gonna quit. We're gonna be like a '90s sitcom. It's gonna be like Mike and Molly, except for my wife's name is Nikki. So,
oh my God,
it's just some fat dumpy dude and some hot chick. And everybody watching is be like, this would never happen in real life. And then you go, oh yeah, 2 pandemics, and that's how it happens.
It's hilarious that you point that out because that is me and my wife as well. Like I was pushing 280. I was getting chunks, bro.
Oh yeah. Getting?
Yeah. Now I'm only 268. Look at me.
Look at you. No, but that's an accomplishment. You should celebrate that.
Yeah.
But not with a pizza.
No. You should do something like with a cauliflower, right?
Yes.
Some kind of healthy bullshit.
Yep, exactly.
Leafy greens.
Yep. Maybe a day in the ocean where you can swim around, burn more calories, but it's fun.
Yeah, but the lockdown's coming.
Who knows?
No, I do.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it this time.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to be like one of those dudes.
They're rolling out
into one of those dudes.
They're rolling out with all the guidelines already. Some schools are changing up their shit. All right. Like I'm just saying. All right. I'm not a theorist. I don't have a show like that. Right.
Look, my kid missed his high school experience because of it.
Really.
And now he just started college.
Oh no.
And they're going to do it again. It's like, come on, guys.
What's happening next year? That's the only reason why I'm guaranteeing.
Well, it's the
something's gonna
election.
happen.
So here we go.
Exactly.
Conspiracy theories. It's the election. So
Is it
this
a
is what they're
theory?
trying to say. They want to capitalize on all the mail-in ballots, so they're going to lock it down again and be like, "Oh, you have to vote by mail now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So who knows? I don't know.
I'm
Maybe.
just saying, if I had let's just say I had $1 billion in the game, like some people do, right? Special
Yeah.
interest groups, lobbyists, whatever. And whatever the option is, because I don't know if you watch that. I don't know if you watch politics, do you?
A little bit.
Okay, so last night or
I like
the night
to know
before,
what's going on.
They had their the Republican
Debate. Yeah, last night.
It was last night. Yeah, the convention thingy it was debate. My
Yeah.
bad. See, that's how much I pay attention. And I was listening to it all, and I was like, all right, I'm done. This is the whole scenario is just pushing us into a second or third world war in Europe. I should consider that, right?
Oh yeah, you should have heard the questions and the answers that they were.
I'm just saying, dude. Like that plus a lockdown, you're guaranteed something's gonna give.
Well, apparently, and this is going back to conspiracy theorists, they're trying to usher in a new world order, a one world government.
The Great Reset.
So that's why they're trying to get rid of like paper currency and put everything digital.
Yeah.
So you can do a social credit system like they do in China. Like these are all the things that they're trying to do
China.
that with the world. They're trying to build 15-minute cities.
What is a 15-minute city?
Okay, so a 15-minute so a 15-minute
I like how you
city
said
is,
that like everybody knows what that is. Like a 15-minute city. I'm
wake
not a
up,
conspiracy
everybody!
theorist,
Wake,
okay?
wake the fuck up, America! Wake the fuck up! They're coming for your freedom. So
They're
what
trying
if
to convert your children into alphabet soup people.
trans lizard people? Okay, Put it all goes.
Okay, so 15 minute.
15-minute city. What a 15-minute city is everything you need is in a 15-minute radius, right?
That's convenient.
And then, but you can't go to the next area unless your social credit score is high enough to get into it.
Who establishes social credit score?
The government.
So as it stands, it's pretty shitty to be an African American with poor credit.
Yes.
Could you imagine social credit?
Yeah.
I mean, bro, my wife's black. All right, like let's chill the fuck out a bit.
I can say it because my wife's black.
No, I'm the other kind. I keep my mouth shut until people say I'm allowed to talk black. Like she will backhand me, and she's Latina, homie.
Whoa.
So it's a double
Whoa.
whams.
You're American in that
Yeah.
household. I like it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's she's from Mexico, so it's like I get a lot of that's just let's shut the fuck up, Joey.
Yeah.
It's time to shut.
So like say like you get a ton of speeding tickets and parking tickets and stuff like that, your
Okay.
social credit score will start to go down. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
mean-
Like if you screw up as a kid and burn down a garage or something like that and get caught for it for arson, your social credit score goes down.
Holy
You're not going
shit.
to be allowed in certain areas.
So it's segregationist at whole.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
100%.
And then it's not even based off of race or color identity. It's just if you're kind of
But I mean, look who they arrest the most. So
I've done interviews with people that we've talked about that very subject. The Last Prisoner Project. I don't know if
Yeah.
you checked it out. Like it's an overwhelming. I
mean, they create the problem for themselves to solve. If you look at it, you know what I mean? Like they want you to give up your guns, but they also want to defund the police. So what
Yeah.
happens when you defund the police? Crime goes up. What happens when crime goes up? You need to protect yourself. But now you don't have a gun to protect yourself. So now there's a problem. So now the government has to come in and solve this problem that they just created to keep you safe. And then what happens when you're scared? You want to survive. So when you want to survive, you're more likely to give up your rights and freedoms in order to feel safe and survive because your brain goes into a survival mode.
Yeah.
That's
Holy
why North
shit.
Korea is the way it is, because they're starving people. They're just giving them barely enough food to eat.
Yeah.
So they're just worried more about survival than they are about living their lives.
Wasn't there a term? There's a term, not complacency, pacifism. In the Marine Corps, like handbook of warfare. Like there's a passive, like you want to pacify. No, maybe like you invest in the structure, you make life better, and then you implement different tactics to get a form of submission, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like you're saying,
I mean, yeah, that's basically what it is.
pacification.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
Right? I mean, it's
Like you'll get your pizza definitely within 30 minutes, but your freedom, and you don't own anything. That's what I've heard.
You don't own anything.
Yeah, that's that Build Back Better plan. That doesn't sound good to me.
It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good.
Like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever read into the Nazis. I don't know. Have you heard of them?
Oh, I mean, once or twice.
This
Those
is
are Republicans, right? That's what.
Yeah, they were this
That's
little
what they
social.
are nowadays. They're Republicans. They're not,
Yeah.
even though they don't do anything that the Nazis did.
No, not at all. But there was this little social exercise group or thought experiment, we'll just call them, like back in the mid 30s, early 40s, and it was pretty much over after that. There was this guy who liked to wear brown, had a weird mustache, really cool dude. If you look at a wet dream that guy could have had on just a lucid methamphetamine induced dream, it sounds like that. Like, that sounds bad. But I hear that we're going to reduce our carbon emissions.
I mean, are we really reducing our carbon emissions?
Or are we just exchanging it?
I think we're just exchanging them.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what's going on in Africa, I mean, look at all the emissions that they're putting out there just to mine for these batteries, let alone the what they're doing with the people out there as well.
It's horrible.
It's horrible, just so we can have our batteries for our cell phones and our Teslas. So we're all wrong. It's just that we don't see it because it's not in our backyard.
Because it's detached.
Because it's detached.
Yeah.
So now there's a detachment in our brains because, well, it's not happening here. We're not seeing it's not a direct result. So now we're not thinking about it.
So do you think it'd be easier to, like we were talking about, implementing things slowly and surely, like, cooking a frog, so to speak, or a lobster?
Oh, yeah. It's exactly because you can't just change it. So it has to be little by little.
I don't know. They did pretty quick shit with that COVID stuff.
Well, I mean, that was a test.
That was a good test. I mean, if I was the guy doing it, I would be like, this shit fucking works, bro. Let's get some angel investors, buy a bunch of land. But Murdoch just bought a bunch, like 300 largest land.
But you also saw the pushback.
Yeah.
So there was a pushback.
That's true.
But
there was
also a thing,
Yeah.
And then also, being in the military, what do we do so when we go to war to be able to fight and kill the other people? We demonize them.
That is true.
So we demonize them. So we take out the humanity part of it and we demonize them. What are they doing right now in politics? They try and demonize each other.
Yeah.
So instead of working together like they're supposed to do, because that's what makes America great, is having little bits of everything. We need liberals, we need conservatives, and we do need some socialists in there. So that way everything works together. We're supposed to be a melting pot of all different ideas coming together, and that's what makes us so important.
Wow.
They need to be able to check each other, so that way it's balanced and equal. But if you look at everything right now, the left is running way far left, the right's running way far right, and it's just pulling us apart in the middle.
That is fucking some of the deepest shit I would have ever imagined.
I didn't know we were going to talk about this.
But I love it.
We started out on your mom, and then we hit record, and then I was like, lizard people, 15-minute cities, and the government's fucking us all over.
They're polarizing us to the point that we're going to start cutting ourselves in half. But that's like so accurate, because to me it's a good talking point, because there's a lot of comedy in it.
I mean, there's tons of comedy in it. I just have to find it.
I mean, eventually, right?
Eventually.
Like if you keep going looking for it, right, you're gonna find that weird Dr. So Little.
Dr. So Little. There you go. In the Alps, fucking its dogs.
I got cigarette plan. We're going to reveal the world in my image. I don't even know, dude. Like, I could just see some older bald gentleman with some glasses that looks like a turtleneck, wearing a little uncircumcised self, wearing a black like Sub-Zero thing, and
listen to weird techno music.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God, I'm so ready for the new Rising. So what'd you do this summer? And they're going to sit there with themselves and I think hate it. Okay, like, could you imagine destroying the world?
This isn't good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what I would do if you took away half the people on Instagram or TikTok, because it's a blessing in disguise. It really is. I love seeing people flub up and try hard and, shake their ass on Instagram. And those are the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, dude, you're getting me to laugh so hard. I don't understand why or how anybody would think that depopulation would be a good idea. And that's ultimately a lot of agenda speaking people, and I'm like, Elon Musk is bringing this up. You know what? We're having a population crisis, but it's the opposite of what people think. We're not having enough kids as a society, as the world, as the planet.
That's
so like
part of depopulation.
It is. I mean, yeah.
Some people have said that when the vaccines came out for COVID, that miscarriages went up.
Yeah.
And that people are having trouble getting pregnant. Which, I mean, that's one way to, sterilize people is.
So, but
I don't know if it's true. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that this is what people have said.
I've seen a video. Okay, where what's his name? The goofy guy.
Dr. Solittle?
No. Bill Gates. Okay. Yeah, I think of him as a goofy guy.
Yeah, where he's talking about like you can lower the populations through vaccines.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so if I were to say something that inflammatory, right? Because I'm a guy and I get violent and I say things on the phones with my bros when we talk. And the other day I was talking with my brother.
Like what? What do you say?
Like, okay, so we were talking about some Willie Pete, all right? We were talking about depleted uranium, and we were talking about a little booby trap with some C4 and glass inside of a dip can, bro. And we were just getting into it. Me and my brother, we were talking about, all this program shit within the VA, okay? Because external to all the world shit, I mean, I shouldn't say external, it's a part of all of it. The VA's got hundreds of billions of dollars. It's the largest medical care system on the planet.
Then how come I can't get my rating up?
So that's the thing. So ratings are one thing, okay? And I'm going to help you out. Fuck the bullshit. We'll figure that shit out. There's so many people out there that can help you. Like, it's ridiculous. But even with the ratings, right? So once you get your rating, there's layers to it, right? You get 100%, then you got to be 100% P&T, and then you're protected. And all that means is it should be legal that after 5 years, there's a CFR code, gay shit, Joey, I know, blah, that protects you legally. Okay, so after you have had a rating for 5+ years, they can't just go ahead and schedule for you for a review. That's what it's called. Yeah. But the OIG, the VA OIG, has come out multiple times saying, no, they're just frivolously fucking putting people up for review regardless. And then they go, oops-a-daisy. And then Wounded Warrior Project comes through and says, yeah, we don't like it when they do that, but they do that. So good luck. And then they'll help you out. But so with ratings, that's one thing. There's a program called it's called the Caregiver Program. All right, bud. It's a comprehensive caregiver program. And it's a VA program that helps the most vulnerable and disabled veterans. And what it is that their spouses or family members are 100% their caregiver at home. It was a tiered system. The system's been shifted back and forth. And him and several buddies, they were in the initial push through Fallujah and everything else. One of his guys filed for the program. His wife assists him with his ADLs, and then with all the other specialized needs, with PTSD and TBI that veterans are dealing with, right? Yeah. And so me and him were talking about that program, and this is the point, right? When we start talking, I was like, well, I just wish sometimes that these pieces of shit in control will get gonorrhea in their eyes, just in the eyeballs, and just occlusive. So every morning they got to break that shit up, all right? Try to get to work, and just every morning, just occlusive fucking gonorrhea in the eye, and then the puffy nastiness, and they lose their fucking eyeballs. I just get so angry, and he goes, why? I go, I don't know. I just feel like that would be a greater inconvenience than them getting the piece within death, Just cut off their bottom lip, their hands and feet, and
gonorrhea
just watch them try to
is a sexually transmitted disease, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. So to get it in their eyes,
no, I want some
they'd have to go to Germany or Florida
for sure. Yeah, it's definitely one of the two. And it's always Florida.
And it's always Florida. It's an easier plane ride.
Especially after the lockdowns, you're definitely going to be able to get to Florida.
You're going to go to Florida because they're not going to lock down. So,
and that's probably why everybody's
where they're going to go. That's it. They're going to be like, well, we can't hang out in California, so let's go to Florida, and then
gonorrhea of the eyes.
Skeet, skeet, skeet.
Yeah. So like I said, we say some shit, and he's like, dude, that's the problem is as veterans, we're not allowed to talk the way we talk, right? We're not allowed to express ourselves. And I shouldn't say allowed to. You're allowed to. It's just that there's complications, there's concerns, there's consequences, right? Like when me and my wife, we're talking about exactly that, the rating system.
Yeah.
Okay. The internalized anger turns into just this suicidal spiral where legitimate emotions of I don't deserve to exist. You know, my wife and kids would be better off. You know, maybe if I do it in such a messy way, like in a parking lot, you know, all those intrusive negative thoughts. That's what a lot of people are combating.
They want to do it at the VA.
Yeah, to make a point. Right. Now imagine if that flips, right? So you
and the VA starts killing themselves in our backyards.
Exactly. Just flip it. Just one day. Just if a director at a VA just showed up and was like, I can't, bam. Like somebody would do something immediately. Yeah. Right? Congress would respond. Senate would respond. There'd be an outpour. There would be a fucking parade. Okay. But when it happens to a veteran, they were just crazy. And then they turn around and be like,
it's so sad.
It's so sad.
Do your push-ups.
P.S. Give me more money so I can help others not kill themselves. When they're doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the reason why I love comedy, because you could see that and go, there's something juxtaposed to that. There's a big problem with it. There's a comedic irony in there somewhere.
There is. I will say, okay, so I've been working with Vet TV.
Nice.
Producing the you were at the one that I was on.
That's right.
For my special when it got recorded.
Yes.
So I'm finding the comics for other ones, and you know, I'm involved in that area with them. And this one guy that I met online is an Air Force veteran. He saw my special and he hit me up and he thanked me for doing that, because at that time he was really going through it. And he said that, and then he was actually contemplating becoming a statistic, becoming one of the guys. And then he was like, I saw your special and a couple of the other comics, and it made me laugh, and he pulled me out of the dark place that, you know, he goes to.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. So yeah. So comedy is important, especially
it is
with veterans, because we do have that dark sense of humor, and we will touch on certain subjects that normal people don't know how to touch on or can't touch on because they've never gone through anything like that.
Exactly. Like I find it to be extremely difficult to engage with the community, right? Even the ones that are pouring over saying, here's your help, we want to help. How do you communicate? Like what you were saying, that the guy was going through that. How do you communicate to people like that?
Because they don't understand it. They've never had to deal with that. Because when you are put in those situations, when you join and you're training to end lives. You're training to kill people. That's just how. I mean, that's the crazy realistic portion of it. So you have to put yourself in a mental mind state where you can take that life. That's why, like we were saying earlier, demonizing the other people. You take the humanity out of it. And that's also why if you are in a hostage situation, you're supposed to start talking about your wife, your kids, and stuff like that, and humanizing yourself, because it'll make it harder for the people to hurt you.
Yeah.
So we train so much on going in there and mindlessly killing other people and putting yourselves in a mindset to be able to do that, but they don't train us on how to take ourselves out of that mindset. All of a sudden, it's over.
Yeah.
So so you go into this thing by increments of learning how to do things, and by, you know, just constantly doing it over and over and over and over and again, and then just, you know, demonizing the other people and stuff like that, and then it's over, and then it's like, what the fuck? And now you're back at home, and everybody's, you know, it's a sunny day in California, and we're going to the beach, and it's like, I just took out 30 fucking people like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now I gotta, you know, just have a hunky-dory time at Legoland? Like, like, how the fuck is this supposed to work? And that's what normal people don't understand. And that's why it's hard for them to help us. And that's also why there's so many different veteran organizations run by veterans that are trying to do it. That's how Vet TV started.
Did it?
Yeah. Donnie O'Malley was in 2-1 in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And he got out and he started Vet TV, and it's sick humor with their stuff. It's dark, and it's a lot of different things that, you know, we've done or gone through, and it's geared specifically towards veterans and combat veterans. So that way you can start laughing at the stupid shit that you've done.
See, that was something that I did pick up on. I've been wanting to, you know, do an interview with him for since we met, I think at the taping, and I was talking to him offhand, and I didn't know that extensiveness about the programs that they do.
It was on Vice on HBO.
Okay, I'm just really out
Yeah.
of date then. Or
I mean, it was on Vice years ago.
Okay,
But yeah, and they do a lot of stuff with suicide prevention and for veterans.
that's what's up, dude.
You know.
So I know they do the Silkies thingy.
Yeah, they do the Silkies hike. And then there's other stuff that they do too.
Nice.
But yeah, you'd have to talk to Donnie about all that stuff.
See, but that's solid stuff. And then when me and you talk about comedy, and you guys do stuff at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, you guys do, events, you guys have your potlucks, and I mean, you're doing stuff, and you guys get a lot of veteran comedians there. Like, I don't know if I know it's not specifically for, and I knew there was something you did or had.
There's a good chunk. Yeah, we did the mandatory fun stuff over there for a while, but then it started out with Vet TV.
Gotcha.
Years ago, and then the pandemic hit. The week we
Fucking COVID.
did our launch party on, I think it was Wednesday. It was a Wednesday. It was Wednesday, March 11th of 2020.
Yeah.
And then Friday, the 13th of 2020 was when it all shut down. So 2 days after
not
we
ominous,
had,
isn't it?
right? I mean, the world shuts down and America shuts down on
Friday
the 13th. But yeah, so it shut down. So this everybody saw the special, but there was a contingency plan with it of moving forward, doing more live shows, maybe taking it on the road, maybe finding comics in other cities. We had all this stuff in the works with it, and then everything shut down for a year and a half.
Right. So the taping was the reopening.
So the taping was basically the reopening of it, and then it's us, like me, I do it, and then I forgot the other veteran comedy group that does it with them as well. So there's two of us, and we just take turns producing the different specials. But there's always like 6 comics. They're always really good, and there's veteran humor with it. You know what I mean? So it gives them that release, and it also shows them that there's more of us out there than you think. Because I know that isolation and feeling alone. And I remember when I got out, and all of a sudden, like, I stayed in California, so it like, some of the buddies that stayed in were right up the road at Pendleton, and I was in San Diego. I was still hanging out with some of them here and there, and then they slowly started trickling away. And then a couple of them stayed, and so I'm like, and still even to this day, I'm still in a group chat with them. We still try and see each other when we can, and with comedy, I try and make sure I get booked in different cities where they're at.
Nice.
So I can visit with them or at least see them for a couple hours. You know what I mean? So I'm lucky in that aspect, but I mean, think about the person who came from Podunk, Missouri. You know what I mean? Like an hour outside of Springfield in the woods.
I love how you bring up Missouri to talk about Podunk. You could have picked a
I'm
better
from
spot.
Chicago, so you look down on Missouri. I mean, Chicagoans reversed a river just to send our fecal matter to St. Louis.
Shut the
So, I'm serious.
That's not fucking real.
It's the truth.
It is
it's
not.
the truth. The Chicago River flows away from Lake Michigan. It's the only river that flows away from a big body of water, and that's because they dug and blew stuff up to reverse the current of it, because the people in Chicago are getting sick because all their sewage are going into Lake Michigan. And so they figured out how to. It's such a dick move.
That is so Chicago.
It's so Chicago. It's like, fuck it. And then it went to the Mississippi and flowed right down the Mississippi to St. Louis,
Jesus
Missouri.
Christ.
So, I mean, I didn't do it, so don't blame me, people of Missouri. I did the Blue Room Comedy Club in Springfield. Love that place. It's so dope. But, I mean, think back to what I was saying. Think about the veteran that goes back to his little hometown.
Yeah, there's
And
no support system.
He doesn't have his people there.
There's no reintegration
There's
either.
no reintegration.
Yeah. That hits home very hard. I don't know if you remember, this is kind of old, but I love the show The Wonder Years. The original. The new one's just as good, but the original with Ben Savage, I think his name is. And the friend,
Fred Savage. Ben was
Fred
in,
Savage, thank you.
Yeah, Ben was in the other one.
Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Look at you. Movie lover, show lover. So in that show, one of their friends goes to Vietnam and then comes back. And this episode hit like right in the feels, bro. Like, I was watching it and my kids were watching it. We were rewatching the shows together. And the friend comes back from Vietnam and he goes to a baseball game. And he's just, everybody, they're all excited. They're happy to see him. They're, just like he never left. But he did. He did. And so as the episode...
not the same person now.
Not at all. So as the episode progresses, you kind of see the signs and symptoms. And this is an old show.
Yeah, this is the 90s.
Yeah. And so you see the signs and symptoms, and I'm starting to get all fucking teary-eyed, all steamy in the room, right? Dust is like flaring. And the wrap-up was he ends up just stripping naked into his briefs, right? His skivvies, so to speak, and his dog tags. And he's in a dugout in one of the practice fields behind the game. So he's running away essentially from the crowds, completely overwhelmed. And he's just sitting there bawling his eyes out. And then the brothers, their friends, the two brothers and the Wonder Years, the two protagonist kids, I should say, come up to him and just console the shit out of him, dude. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was tear-jerking. It was so enlightening. This is the right thing to do. Embrace them, get them to get out of that.
It's also the innocence of children, too.
True. Yeah, because they didn't know what the hell is going on, man. Shit. My children didn't know what the fuck. They were like,
so here's a Vietnam veteran story from when I was a child.
Shoot it.
Me and my buddy were hanging out with his uncle, who did 3 tours in Nam. And we were in Chinatown in Chicago going through it, and he had a flashback, and he started beating the fuck out of this fucking Chinese dude. Oh my God.
It didn't click until you said I was like, what is the relevance?
He just had a weird flashback. But instead of consoling him, we just ditched out because we're just like, I ain't getting in trouble for
Buddy's
this.
catching a case.
We didn't know what to do.
Uncle Jimmy's catching a case.
Catching a case. We just booked out. We were just like, this is not good.
You got your free lo mein.
You had to get out of there.
You took the full wrap duck and you dipped.
So Wonder Years happened in the suburbs. They're very wholesome. Southside Chicago. Not so much, buddy. You're on your own. Go fuck yourself. Why'd you hit that guy?
You didn't have to do what you did.
You didn't have to do what you did. So veterans, if you're out there, reach out, get some help.
And you don't have to do the things, you don't have to make mistakes. I think that's the safest approach to life, honestly, is like, look at everybody else, right? There's so many other people to look at, like the gentleman you were talking about that reached out, right? Take a moment of your inner fuck and just reach out, right?
It's hard though.
It is. It is impossible, right? It's impossible to when you're in your moment. I was there, for years. I've been in and out of this. It's a constant battle, right? When you're in the darkness, there is no light, right? And you are your last hope. That's the reason why I turned to faith. Like, that's something that I learned with my Marines. That's what I learned, growing up as a kid. Whether you believe in a God, a Jesus, an Allah, or whatever may have you.
You have to find your reason.
Yeah, find it. Whether it's, like your kids, just give them another day. Just say, hey, we're going to go watch that movie tomorrow. We're going to watch that show tomorrow.
They need me.
Exactly.
They need me.
And it's tough. It is tough. Like, I lost a good friend a few years ago. And, I was talking to him like it was nothing. He just got a great job with the Postal Service. He was going through relationship troubles. And before you know it, one day to the next, gone. And so it hit me hard. I remember crying in the garage. The only other time I've cried as hard where my kids saw me. Yeah, that's the way. That's the right one. Well, the only other time was when my service dog died. I cried for 3 weeks straight when that dog died, dude. So anyways, but when my buddy died, the same thing. It was like days of just crying and just sulking in it and going, why? Why didn't you reach out? Right? I got angry with it.
Yeah. Well, anger is part of the grieving stages.
It is. There's stages?
Yeah, there's 5 stages of grief.
What are they?
I would read a lot of I took psychology classes when I got out.
Yeah.
And I read a lot just so I can kind of figure it out because I don't like talking to people.
So you're DIY?
I'm a DIY.
Psychonaut?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't remember all of them. Like the first one is denial.
Right.
And then the second one, I think, is anger. And then it's negotiation. And then it's acceptance. And then it's better.
Oh, shit.
If I'm correct. somebody fact check it and get back to me at Mike Vinn Comic. Just shoot me a line. Let me know if I'm right on the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, plug that in the comments. I'm going to put this as the clippy clip. Yeah, they're going to be able to interact with that part.
Yeah.
I can see it right now.
I mean, it's been a while since I've read them.
But it's important to know that.
It's important to know that these are the stages, and it's a healthy, and it's how you process it, and it's healthy. So you're going through it. It's healthy. You're not the only one that's been through it. There's plenty of other people that have been through it. And the one thing that I always tell people, and that's one of my credos, is if somebody else can do it, you can do it too. You just have to be willing to do the work and have it and go through what you need to go through to get that final result.
Take those steps.
Yeah.
See, and that's the biggest thing I love about doing this show is like providing resources, right? So like if you can hear this voice, right, you're hearing me and Mike talk about it, reach out to the Devil Dog Chuck Show on any kind of forum, reach out to Mike Vinn Comic on any forum. There's all these different types of resources. You already know them. I think it's 988 is the emergency hotline.
I think so, yeah.
And then you can reach out to the Wounded Warrior. Any single one of those people or one of those things.
Buddy,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's going to be more effective.
And that's, because they know you the most.
Exactly. Like reach out to somebody you haven't heard from in a while. You know, just check in with them or check in with yourself, right? Like, there's a gentleman I did an interview with. His name is gonna slip me right now, but he has a program and it's called the Back Azimuth or Azimuth, check. Okay, and he's a counselor and he's like this great guy. I can't remember his name right now. Jesus, I'll insert that, but you know. The point is, there's a check. Like, are you becoming more angry more often? Right? Are you drinking more than you usually do? Are you? Or is people telling you, "Hey, is everything okay?" Are you becoming more isolative? Right? Then this may be a time for you to reach out. Like before you get to that, I'm locked into this decision. There's signs, you know, of the slip, that spiral, that backsliding to either depression, sadness, grief, like you were saying, guilt. Like that was something I learned about. Moral injury. Have you heard of that shit?
Yeah.
I never heard of that shit until like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my psychologist was telling me, like, why haven't you heard of moral injury? I was like, bro, I'm fucking retarded, homie. Like, we've been talking for years, and this is the first time you told me, all right? So I don't know how fucking retarded you are, too. You know what I mean?
Well, here's how retarded I am. I was getting physical therapy for, because my body's all jacked up. And the physical therapist goes, all right, what is pain? And right away I go, pain is weakness leaving the body. Oh my God. And he goes, what? I was like, pain is weakness leaving the body. And he goes, no wonder why you guys are so fucked up.
You couldn't have said a better motard fucking... You could have just turned around, said that, and said, kill. And I would have fucking posted that. You would have gone viral. The commandant of the Marine Corps would be like, we need him back.
Re-enlist.
Especially with the recruiting. Oh my God, dude. Oh, speaking of ridiculous shit, my buddy and I were talking last night. He goes, look at the Navy's recruitment ambassador. I'm sorry. The Navy's recruitment ambassador. Google it.
Navy
the Navy recruitment ambassador. Okay. One of the hottest looking drag queens I've ever seen in uniform. God. Like all of anything glorious. Lips, 100%.
As if the Navy didn't have enough gay stuff coinciding with it.
You couldn't. There's so much history with submarines. 32 go down. Like I don't even know the math.
16 couples come up. It's math, bro. Come on. Come on, Doc.
Hey.
How many milligrams?
I don't know a lot. All of them.
Just take the motion. Here's a straw. Suck it up.
Change your socks.
Drink your water. Stay hydrated. Clean
Is
your
your canteen full? I didn't ask you what it was. I asked you if it was full.
Hydrate, clean your fingernails, change your socks.
Oh my God.
Stay healthy, Marine.
That was like the funnest times though.
Yeah, those were the best.
Yeah, BAS. Having you fucking Marines come in. They're going to come in. If there's any kind of movement, they always come in. Or the night before, we're all hanging out anyways. Yeah. So it's IVs. Everybody's getting
combat cocktails.
Yeah. Shit was solid.
I don't want to feel nothing, Doc.
Yeah. I was always heavy-handed to help out. That was the thing. You got to get the job done. And I think that's the problem with nowadays. Like being a corpsman, you don't have liability issues. Okay? Like when you're deployed, there is. Okay, you can't fuck up too bad. Like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that guy. There was a thing.
Yeah.
He got in a lot of trouble over it and then still innocent, whatever. You can't fuck up that bad. The point is, you got to take care of your Marines. You got to take care of your sailors. You got to take care of yourself. I don't care about how people identify. I'm just saying that when we have a suicide rate, somebody just posted this morning that there was 3 suicides within 2 weeks at Fort something or another, right? When I was enlisted, there was a suicide almost every other week between Camp Pendleton, Miramar, and El Centro. And it was the same group of guys. That's the sad part. They're flying over. They're doing the Marine Wing thing.
Marine Wing thing.
Somebody put that on a T-shirt.
The Marine Wings and things.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to the Bastards Canteen next week. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they're doing the Marine Wing thing, right? And people are literally, this again just happened, jumping into a fucking tail rotor, okay? Just to end it all, right? And the commands, okay, whatever. The big machine's going to do what it does. You know, the green weenie's going to fuck. That's what it does.
That's what it does.
But it's just to a point where, what the fuck are we doing?
There is a general out there that's trying to make PTSD a real, like, disability.
I mean, it is.
Like, no, I'm not talking like for when you get out. I'm talking about like when you're still in.
Oh,
like, you know,
so
how,
actually
like you hurt
recognize.
your knee or your ankle and you can't go back to the field
Right.
until you're healed up. He's trying to get the same thing with mental health.
It's going to ruin people's career. It already does.
So
That's the problem. You know, honestly, like if you ever ask for help, you were in what was the 90s,
when
right?
9/11 happened.
Yeah. So you were there the 2000s. Okay. So how would it look like if you were to ask for help
I
while
look
you were
like
still
a bitch.
Exactly. Like I'm just telling you, like I got out in 2011. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like you ask for help, you get burned. It's just the way
Yeah.
it goes. So I don't know how successful that's going to be because there's already implementations of treatment and it's up to the command. And I think that's the bigger problem is you have to remove those strings that attach it to.
Well, mission over everything, right? I mean, that's why they were giving me anthrax.
That's so true.
I was one of the last
you got
ones.
the anthrax?
I was one of the last ones to get the anthrax shot, and the whole point of it is to build up enough of an immunity to be able to finish the mission before you died.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so you're gonna die regardless because you got hit with anthrax. But
You got
could you at least finish what we sent you in there to do?
you got an extra 35, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's like they figured that was a bad idea, and then they stopped.
We're not gonna. This sounds as effective as the shit they've been giving
Right?
people.
This isn't working. Yeah, I couldn't give blood for like donate blood or anything like that for like good 10 years after I got out.
Holy shit!
My body had fucking anthrax running through it. Yeah. Did you know that in your paperwork when you signed the papers to join the military that you are automatically a guinea pig if they decide to test something on you? Then they just can do it. They
No.
don't need your permission.
I didn't know that.
They can just like, nah, well, we're going to test it on this unit. So,
I know that they do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of your contract.
Well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I know if you get a sunburn, you can get in trouble. Damaging government property. Ask me how I know.
Because you got a sunburn, you damage government property, and you're out of commission for a week.
Dude, I got sent to the Chief's Mast or whatever the fucking gay Navy shit's called. And all I remember was everybody looking at each other, looking at me. I'm beat red like a lobster. And I'm like, hey, I still showed up. And they were like, all right, never mind, threw it out. But my LPO was a dick at the time. So, Navy politics,
Oh
bro.
yeah, I had my lieutenant, my platoon commander for my second series.
Yeah.
In, he was a piece of shit. Like he got to the unit and he was the officer of the day, and I got busted coming back from Rosarita.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You said that so well.
And he was the officer of the day, so all I had to do was like tell the MPs like, just let him go. I'll deal with him when they get here. But instead he goes, no, I'm going to put him on the blotter. And he wrote it down in the book that we went down there, and then he sent us up, and then all of a sudden I was on restriction. And You know, I had to do a bunch of dumb stuff. I got, and my first NJP.
Oh, Lord.
And then fast forward to right before we're about to leave for after 9/11 happened. I had a broken down car, and I had to move it somewhere, and it was broken down. So, and he's telling me to get it off the base or whatever. And so I just I pushed it to a different part of Horno. And I just left it over there, and he saw it, and then so he sent me up to the battalion. So I got NJP'd again.
What was it for, though?
For disobeying lawful orders.
Oh,
I told him to fuck off. I was like, I have nowhere to put it. All right,
Was it
fuck
the
off.
Article 32, that catch-all?
Yeah. It was disobeying lawful orders, disrespecting a commissioned officer, and like some other thing. And when I was standing there, and the sergeant major's on my right, like uncomfortably close to me, and I'm facing the colonel who's behind his desk, and I've got my my platoon commander, my platoon sergeant, my squad leader all standing there on the left. And the platoon, the CO was like, the battalion commander was like, he goes, so why did you do it, Marine? I go, because I thought I'd get away with it, sir. And the fucking sergeant major's just yelling in my face. On my right, I see my squad leader's head just fucking drop down for a second, and then he picks it back up and he goes, "Sir, that's the most honest answer you're ever gonna get from a Marine ever."
Dude.
That's how I lost. That's how I got bumped down from corporal to lance corporal. So
it's not too far of a drop,
No, it's
but
not
that's
too
still a
far
real
of a drop.
bullshit
It's
reason.
still because I had a broken car and nowhere to put it. All right.
You could have just pushed it. You could have just pushed it onto a range. Took care of the problem. Got some training out of it.
Right.
Sold it to the Marine
And it
Corps.
wasn't easy either, man. I was like, we were living by by Basilon Road, and
So
I had to
the-
push it up the hill. It was like a slight hill, and I'm pushing this Ford Escort up the hill. Also, I had pneumonia at the time, so I couldn't breathe. I did all this stuff just to get it out of his, like, just leave me alone, and then it still didn't work. I got my honorable discharge. Okay, I was shit hot in the field. I just got in trouble when they let us go for free.
A Liberty freak.
Liberty free, yeah.
No, I feel you, man. I honestly don't know how I got away with so much shit sometimes. I never got caught moving anything like that.
I think they know. They know that there's going to be X amount of things we do, and they just let it happen. They're like, all right, just.
You know what? That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta let them. You gotta let people make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, honestly, you can go to the base at any place with Marines, and you're gonna find a tremendous amount of shit.
Oh yeah.
But it's part of it. Like, these are the kids, literally kids, that we're gonna send to the next wave.
I was
of whatever we're
17
doing.
when I went to boot camp. I turned
Really?
18 towards the end of boot camp. Yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
dude.
I was a baby.
Wow. When did you get out? How old were you when you got out?
22 because we extended. And so I was going to get out at 20, like before I turned 22, but I got out after I turned 22.
Oh, wow.
I was supposed to get out at 21, but because of the extension. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's such a trip.
Baby.
Yeah. A lot. Everybody talks about the alcohol problems, right? And I go, you know what, though? If you can deploy, right, and do anything, whether it be training, whether it be direct action, whether it's support, whatever, if you can play that big of a role for all of us, right, the freedoms of all of us, I think you can have some beer.
Yeah.
A little bit of alcohol. I think that was the greatest thing. Ripping out my chain of command was the shit. They were awesome, dude. And
my first platoon commander was the shit. This is
Yeah.
my second platoon commander that was the fucked up one. My first platoon commander, he was a Mustang. So he was enlisted first
Gotcha.
and then became an officer. So he used to show up Monday morning. He's like, all right, fellas, he called us the Wolf Pack.
nice.
You know what I mean? So now when I watch The
That's
Hangover,
awesome.
I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah.
And we're the three best friends that anybody can have.
So, but like he like came in and he'd be like, "Hey, did you guys get drunk this weekend?" And we're like, you guys fight anybody?" And we'd be like, "Yeah," because we used to fight everybody.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, did you guys win?" We're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, those are my boys." And he's like, "Wait, did anybody get in trouble?" No, all right, yeah, that's fucking
Perfect.
So that's like my first 2 years in. That was the culture that we had, and it's like ran like a gang basically.
Initiations and everything.
Into everything, yeah. We got tired of fighting each other, so we just went around and fought everybody else. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean,
that was it. And so we're going from that to you can't go do anything.
yeah.
He was a short dude too. We used to call him Scrappy Doo
Oh my God, dude.
because he was always like trying to prove himself, and he had a big chest and just like little legs, and so he's just like, "Oh, let me at him, Uncle Scoob." Like,
I could see him in a Marine
little
Corps
shit
fucking
lieutenant.
dress uniform, just like, come on, horrific. Dude,
Fuck that guy. Yeah, where were we? I think we were. It was somewhere in the Middle East, and we were all hanging out. We were burning pallets, like a little
That's
bonfire.
always safe, yeah.
And he started talking
Covered
about
in chemicals
He
and
started
whatnot.
talking about re-enlisting, and he goes, "Are you going to re-enlist?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Shitty lieutenants." I was like, I'm not fucking. It's like, bro, you NJP'd me twice, and then you're gonna ask me, like, you're just gonna ask me that, like yeah, I'm gonna stick around and hang out with you some more because you're the best person for my career.
Oh my God. So when you got out, right, and you followed and you pursued this path to comedy, and you started out, you're doing this stuff there at the Comedy Store in La Jolla.
It was great because I could say whatever the fuck I wanted to on stage.
Is that what really pushed you
That's
into it
what
more?
really dove me in there because I could just say whatever and you just make it funny. And I was always able to make things funny. Like when all my buddies are like, "Oh, you do comedy now?" Like, yeah, that makes sense. Because I was a smart ass and mouth got me in so much trouble. That's for another podcast. I have to come back.
We could do as many episodes as you want, bro.
So I started doing it, but there's also a camaraderie there.
Yeah.
Like my wife coined the phrase, "It's a sad clown party," because we all come from
Wow.
different types of trauma.
Yeah.
And we make light of fucked up things, and so we all kind of have like a similar mentality,
That is so true.
So, yeah,
Yeah, because some of the darkest hours. Oh my Jesus Christ! I just had a fucking flashback right now.
yeah,
Some of my darkest hours, right? One of the best things to come out of this was just the sheer comedy side of it.
yeah. The
Like,
jokes.
all of the horror that war brings, the trauma, the injuries, all the unimaginable shit. It just lifts it up instead of it being that heavy burden of like that moral injury shit we were talking about, right? Like you're like, yeah, and you just go ahead and it helps shrug it off a bit, whether it just gives you a moment, a day in time. That's the reason why I love having you on, dude, because like every time we've talked, it's just like shining a big old light on life. Just like, hey, dude, like it's good. Just fucking make fun of it. You know what? Me and your mom, we've done a lot of things together. We want you to succeed, son.
I thought you're going somewhere else with that.
Trying to come in here as
Me and your mom have
stepdad
done a lot of
part 2.
things, mostly in Florida. You're just gonna have to deal with it, okay?
And I have to look at that because it's so true. You got to just take it day
You
by day.
have a sister coming. I don't know if I have a daughter coming, so we'll just leave it at that.
Oh my God, dude. Ugh. So to bring it to the point,
The whole reason why we're here.
doing the Comedy Store has given you this purpose, and it shines because when you were up on stage, besides having just the perfect pelvic shot of you in my face,
Oh yeah, you sat up front.
oh, well, all the way up front, and you put me there, so I think that was
Yeah,
intentional,
yeah.
which is great.
Suck it, Doc.
Yeah, literally. I was like, dude, this is great, and it came at the right time, and it helped.
I know what the
motivate
Navy
so much.
guys want. They want a crotch view of all the comics, all the male comics,
Just all of them.
all of them.
I'm just gauging girth as they come by. It was a good time. So more to do with the Comedy Store. How do we get more involved with Mike Vinn Comedy? How do we get more involved with the Comedy Store and everything you got going on?
Honestly, just follow us on social media, come out to shows, and then when it comes down to working together, like we'll figure stuff out. Like there's so many things to do or that can be done. We just have to find the time to do it and find the right things to do. So that way you're just not spinning wheels in mud.
True. I love that saying, the whole spinning wheels thing. It's the worst.
Yeah.
And it builds up in the whole anxieties and everything else. And, honestly, just get out there and try. Like, that's what it is. Like, get out more, record more shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep writing jokes, keep performing, keep perfecting them. Film the stuff, put it out on social media, which is something I'm really starting to do right now, is putting those clips out there, because that's what people want to see. And that's how you build a following. And that's how, people get to know you more. And also doing things like this, you get to hang out with new friends and have laughs and talk about some serious issues, then also make light of it.
Exactly. Levity, right?
Yep.
It's the best shit. Like when we were talking this past, I think it was last week or this week, when you were at Jimmy Kimmel's, right? I was like, dude, look at Mike. He's fucking killing it, dude. And I just had another conversation with Eric. He's going to show up in the Looney Bin.
Yeah.
Out in
Tulsa,
Oklahoma. That's right. And I actually sent that over to Jared, another person I've had on the show, Jared Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I love bringing veterans together, brother, and just sharing our purposes, right? Like you were saying, it builds a community, right? You get out there, have some fucking laughs, drink some beers at the Comedy Store in La Jolla, right? Hook up with Mike, whether it be you want to learn comedy or you just want to tell him, like the Air Force fella told you, like, hey, like bottom of the barrel or bottom of the bottle, then you got me going into a different direction. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So shit, Mike, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Do you have any shout outs for today's episodes? Plugs, promotions.
So
pimp out your shit.
Well, let's do this one. I don't know, when's this episode gonna air?
When do you want it? When do you need it? I'll give it to you.
So okay, follow Vet TV on social media and follow myself on social media at Mike Vinn Comic. Especially if you're a veteran out there, we are putting together, and they're all filmed in Southern California, mostly San Diego and Temecula and stuff like that, for the mandatory fun shows. That's a great way for you to get out and see a live taping of some stand-up comedy with veteran comedians that are going to relate to you guys. Also, every December, the second Thursday in December, I do a Toys for Tots show.
Toys for Tots.
Yeah, so
nice.
that's been my baby for like the past 12 to 15 years or something like that. The only year we didn't do it was pandemic year. And all you got to do is I stack a lineup. I pull all my favorites for a bunch of different headliners and some badass comics. And it's a great show, and all you have to do to get in is bring a new unwrapped toy. There's Marines in dress blues collecting all the donations, and so it's one of the ways for me to, because I grew up as a really poor kid, to bring my Marine Corps side and my upbringing, bring them together, and so that way, you can give a kid Christmas that normally wouldn't have Christmas because, their parents are fuck-ups. Or they're just poor. Okay, don't cancel me.
Don't cancel me. I was just gonna say, Toy for Tots is
no,
a
but
great
it's
program.
like there are families out there that can't afford things, especially right now with all the prices skyrocketing.
Yes.
So it's a way it's the ultimate Secret Santa. So yeah, follow me on social media at Mike Vinn Comic. All this stuff will be put out there, and then I would love to see you at a show, especially if you heard me on this on Devil Dog's talk show. Come up to me and let me know that you heard me here, so that way I can high five you and give you the patch that I got.
Well, I mean, don't give him the one you got.
Okay, I'll take a different one.
Yeah, I'll give you. I have them. Okay, I have many of them.
I think it'd be a better gift if I give them mine, and then I get a new one from you.
Okay, that works.
Then I can give somebody else.
Sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it'll be worth money on like.
It won't be worth money.
Yeah, it will be, on the eBay. You can sell anything on eBay. You can sell a jar of farts, bro. Don't get me started.
We'll save that for episode 3.
Yes.
Or 4. This is my third time on there or second time?
I think this is
Third.
either the third. Yeah. Yeah. So he likes it. It's doing it 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit.
Coming back for more, you nasty. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. This has been the Devil Doc Talk Show with Joey Martinez, the Devil Doc Talk. And today's guest again was Mike Vinn. And again, Mike Vinn at the Comedy Store La Jolla. You could check out his social media. You can go see him at the Comedy Store La Jolla. Be there for the Toys for Tots. Be there for all the events. Because let's be honest, if you're listening to this, you ain't got shit else to do.
Bring your mom.
Bring my mom?
Sure.
My mom can go?
Why not?
Dude, that's going to be, I don't know. I'm going to have to warn your wife. All right, everybody. Take care.
Internet. Hello. Asisten idag ösnen var för att ordna en iskjätes i FN med representanter och ösnen besöktes nästan på shit.
Well, they need to sit.